What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Thursday, August 18th, 2022, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. I wanted to give you an update on that geomagnetic storm that's currently impacting us here on planet Earth. So, I first reported on this 2 days ago, and I wanted to just give you an update. And so, if you missed my update, basically the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration of the United States upgraded their geomagnetic storm watch from a G2 class to a G3 class. And G3 is considered a strong geomagnetic storm. And that's on a scale of 1 to 5. So the lowest would be a G1 and the highest would be a G5. A G5 storm would be something similar to the Carrington event. So a G3 is pretty strong, okay? And so yesterday we were under a G1. Today, August the 18th, we're under a G3. And tomorrow, Friday the 19th, we're going to be under a G2. All right. So today and tomorrow are really going to be the days where we get hit the hardest by this coronal mass ejection, which happened 2 days ago. And it's actually a series of coronal mass ejections that are all going to be hitting us at the same time that have occurred the past week or so. So they're all going to be bombarding us now today and tomorrow. But I want to just share with you guys this picture from last night, and this is coming from the Saxony region of Germany. And you can clearly see an Aurora Borealis here. You can see this greenish kind of cloud here, and you can see some green colors here. And what's really impressive about this picture is that you can make out the aurora even over the city lights and the clouds. Apparently, it was cloudy in this area. You can see actually like a haze or like a light cloud here. You can see some stars, but you can see some haze or fog, and you can see the city lights over here. But even then, they were able to see the aurora quite vividly, and that's at a latitude of about 51 degrees north. So it's not super far north. You know, the Saxony region of Germany is not super far north, but wanted to just share this with you guys and give you an update. If you live anywhere in the northern third of the lower 48 of the United States, or you live in Europe, tonight will be a great night to try to see an aurora. Now, 2 weeks ago, there was a surprise G2 class storm, and a G2 is considered to be a moderate storm. And with the G2 storm, there were people here in northern Pennsylvania where I live that saw northern lights, okay? And that was just with a G2. This is going to be a G3, okay? So I'm going to be on the lookout tonight. I'm going to have my camera equipment ready. If there's any auroras, I'm going to take a picture, maybe some videos. But be on the lookout if you live anywhere. They're saying even as far south as Annapolis, Maryland, Indianapolis, Indiana, Illinois, Iowa. If you live even as far south as those places, okay, Indianapolis, that's crazy. Annapolis, Maryland, if you live in those areas or anywhere north of there, you need to be watching the sky tonight and taking pictures. If you do see an aurora, take a good picture, send it to my email, nyprepper85@gmail.com, and put the location, city and state, or province and country, or city and country, whatever. And what I'll do is I'll compile all the pictures I get and do a video and share it with the audience. But just be on the lookout tonight. You know, you don't have to go crazy and spend the whole night outside or anything, but just every 30 minutes or so, go outside and take a peek, see if you see anything. That's what I'm going to do. Try to get to an area that has good visibility like a wide open space, if you can get to like a farm or a lake, a big lake, or maybe the top of a hill or a golf course, something that faces north and is not obstructed by buildings or hills. You need an open area that has relatively a higher elevation than the surrounding area so the auroras are not blocked by a hill or by trees or by buildings. You need to get up high and you need an open view of the sky, and you have to be able to have a clear sight of the northern horizon. Okay. And the best way to find the northern horizon is by finding the Little Dipper, which is opposite of the Big Dipper. And the last star on the handle of the Little Dipper is the North Star. So, as long as you can find the North Star, you're always going to be facing north. So, that's just, quick way to find your northern direction. But that's what you want to do. And so, I want to just share some other information here about this solar storm. So, this is the official forecast from the NOAA. You can see August the 18th, G3 strong storm. Okay. Yesterday they had a G1, which is minor, and then tomorrow they're going to have it as a moderate. So overnight tonight will probably be your best bet to see something. And even tomorrow night, if you live somewhere further north, like Germany or Poland or Scandinavia or Canada, closer to the Canadian border, some of the states in the US that are close to Canada, even Friday, tomorrow, you'll be able to see stuff. But if you're a little bit lower, like where I am in northern PA, or if you're in the Midwest somewhere, tonight is going to be your best bet to see an aurora. And there was actually another solar flare yesterday. There was a M1 and a M2 class solar flare yesterday. And that was a surprise solar flare. So, we're ramping up towards solar maximum, which is going to occur around 2025 for this particular solar cycle. All right, we're in solar cycle 25, and solar cycles generally are about 11 to 14 years long, and it varies. So, they're predicting that we're going to reach maximum around 2025, but the sun is going to do whatever it wants to do. That's just a prediction. We don't know for certain. But as we get closer to 2025, we're going to start to see more of these types of geomagnetic storms and solar flares. The last time we had a really bad solar flare was actually in 2012. And we got lucky in 2012. We dodged a bullet because there was an X class solar flare in 2012, but it wasn't Earth facing. So we didn't get hit by it. But if we did get hit by that flare, they were saying it could have been as bad as the Carrington event almost. Okay. So we need to be ready in case of a massive solar flare. Okay, if there's a really strong solar flare, an X class solar flare that's facing Earth, there's a good chance you could have power outages, satellites could go down, radios could go down, communications, cell towers, airplanes, all kinds of navigation, whether it's airplane navigation, boats. I mean, you name it, it would have a huge effect. And they've actually calculated the damage that would occur today if there was a Carrington event today. They're saying that it would cost at least $1 trillion in damage. Okay. So think about that. I mean, that would be like the equivalent of like a war, basically, the amount of damage it would do to our power grid, our satellites, our navigation systems, communication systems, electronics. I mean, you name it. So, we dodged the bullet in 2012, but, as we ramp up towards solar maximum, we really have to be on the lookout for storms like this. And, the best way to stay updated on storms like this is to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification, I'm always watching space weather, so if there's anything coming, I will always update you if there's any kind of coronal mass ejection. Generally speaking, if there's a coronal mass ejection or some kind of a solar flare, it usually takes 2 to 3 days for it to hit Earth. So you're going to get 2 to 3 days advance warning to prepare yourself. Okay, if I do a video tomorrow saying that there's an X-class flare, chances are it would hit Sunday or Monday, maybe Tuesday. Okay, so you would have 2 to 4 days to really prepare everything, put everything you have in EMP-proof bags, or if you don't have an EMP-proof bag, you could even put your stuff in a microwave or a tin can that's sealed really well. There's other things you can do if you don't have an EMP bag or a Faraday cage. You don't necessarily have to do that. There's other options. I mean, you could even put your stuff in a fridge. There's a lot of things you can do. I've seen people put their electronics in a garbage can, an old school metal garbage can with a tight lid, and even that will work. There's just a lot of things you can do. But wanted to just update you guys on this. Be prepared for more solar flares. Like I said, we're ramping up towards a solar maximum. And another thing, too, about this solar cycle we're in now is that this is going to be a weakened solar cycle. And we are heading into a grand solar minimum. And the last time we had a grand solar minimum was 500 years ago during the Little Ice Age. So we need to be on alert not only for a solar maximum and more solar flares, but after that, we could enter into a cooling period because the sun is going to go dormant from the grand solar minimum. That's what happened during the Little Ice Age. If you're interested in learning more, just Google search the Little Ice Age and Maunder minimum, Maunder, Maunder minimum. And it was like a 200-year period where the global temperature was below average, and it coincided with a very weak solar cycle. And it got so cold that the river in London, the Thames River, would freeze every single year solid, enough to where they could hold flea markets on it and sell goods on it, and they called them frost fairs. Okay, so that's how cold it was. And there's numerous paintings of European cities covered in snow, even in late spring and summertime. So a lot of things to prepare for. Wanted to just give you this update, and this is the current view of the sun. You can see we do have a few sunspots, and the one that we're really paying attention to now is 3078, which is this region right here, this huge sunspot. And this one had a dark plasma CME 2 days ago, and scientists are saying that this one here could generate an X-class solar flare. Okay, at some point. It might not happen this week or this month, but it could happen possibly. So we have to keep an eye on this one. But that's pretty much it, guys. Wanted to give you this update. Again, if you see any auroras, take a picture, send it to my email, nyprepper85@gmail.com. Let me know your location. But that's pretty much it. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.